This is the Barwon River Ovoid Sewer Aqueduct, standing quietly, gracefully across the floodplain. A century ago, it was a bold achievement. Today, it's a piece of engineering history at risk of being lost forever. I'm Paul Michael Angus, a mechanical and civil engineer. I believe infrastructure is not just functional, it tells the story of our past, our progress, and our ambitions. Today I want to share the remarkable story of this structure and why, even as difficult decisions are being made about its future, we need to pause and reflect on what we could lose. At the turn of the 20th century, Geelong faced a very modern challenge: rapid urban growth and the need for an effective, hygienic sewage system. The solution was bold: a pipeline system that needed to cross the wide Barwon River floodplain. The answer? Build a monumental aqueduct structure, unlike anything seen before in Australia. Between 1913 and 1915, under the guidance of engineer Edward Giles Stone, 14 enormous reinforced concrete spans were constructed. Stretching 756 metres, it became one of Australia's longest structures of its type. This aqueduct wasn't just big, it was revolutionary. The pipeline itself, being supported, is ovoid shaped, not circular, to improve flow velocities during low flow periods, a clever solution still used in some sewage systems today. And the construction technique, the consigliere system, a patented method using spirally wound steel reinforcement inside concrete, very rare for Australia at that point in time. The concrete trusses clearly drew inspiration from major steel bridges like the Firth of Forth, but applied here in completely different material, i.e. concrete. It was innovative, ambitious, and a symbol of Geelong's confidence in its future. For nearly 80 years, the aqueduct carried Geelong sewage safely across the floodplain to its outfalls, and later treatment plant works. It performed its task faithfully, even through floods, storms, and environmental change. But time takes its toll on all things. By the 1990s, a newer pipeline made the aqueduct itself redundant, and concerns over structural integrity began to grow. By 1995, public access had to be ceased for safety reasons. Corrosion of steel reinforcement led to concrete cracking and spalling. Today, those responsible for this structure, notably Barwon Water, face a very difficult challenge: balancing the structure's extraordinary heritage value against the real and serious obligation to keep the public safe. The proposal now on the table involves removing most of the structure, while exploring options to retain safe, meaningful remnants to pay homage to its history for current and future generations. But even this approach in recent times is up in the air, with Barwon Water being provided further structural advice that the retained elements would still eventually fail, even if propped up. These aren't easy choices to work through, and I suppose the saying, "time takes it all, whether you want it to or not," rings very true for this historical feature south of Geelong. No one takes lightly the decision to alter or remove an icon. You might ask, why should we try to retain more of the aqueduct? Why not just get rid of it altogether? Because this isn't just about an aqueduct. It's about preserving one of the finest examples of 20th century reinforced concrete engineering in Australia. Historical structures like this tell a story of boldness, ingenuity, and civic vision. And once they're gone forever. Across the world and throughout Australia, old infrastructure is being retained where possible and repurposed into parks, educational trails, elevated walkways. Imagine the Barwon Sewer Aqueduct as part of a new vision, a learning resource for future engineers, a landmark for Geelong's European heritage, a place for the community to reconnect with its history, including the history of First Peoples of Australia. While not every span can be saved, there's an opportunity right now to make sure we retain enough to keep its story alive. even if it can only be viewed safely from a distance. The time is likely short. Once demolition begins, options begin to vanish quickly. If this structure and its history moves you, if you believe in preserving our engineering legacy, now's the time to weigh in. Engage with the conversation. Support careful preservation where it's possible, and help celebrate the incredible achievements of those who came before us. The Barwon Sewer Aqueduct is more than a concrete bridge holding a pipe. It's a link across time, a link between the engineers of yesterday and the generations of now and into tomorrow. So let's make sure that that bridge isn't broken. I'm Paul Michael Angus. Thanks for joining me.